Every time I do that, every time I do the video to start off the stream, every single time it gets towards the end, it's just like, bleh. It's like it's been choked off for no good reason. Anyway, hello and welcome to Animus Lives number 4. A different 4. This is the actual 4. The previous 4 is no longer 4. Thor is now 5. Yeah, you get the picture. Hello and welcome. Hello, Sea Monster. Yes, streaming is hilariously bad. Well, mine anyway. I am currently mucking around with whatever. No, that's not. Where is it gone? Where's no? Too big. Nah. Yeah. Let's go with this. No. No, I'm covering up Mr. Bean. There. Let's go with this one. It suits my ego. My ego is the size of a planet. Mwah. This weekend has been a weekend. I originally wasn't going to do a stream. I had planned to do one, and then stuff happened. Put it shortly, water damage. uh, Water fell from the ceiling and just messed things up, and I've spent the entire weekend just dealing with that. So instead of having a nice, relaxing weekend ready for what I'm assuming is going to be quite a busy week at work, instead, yeah, stressed out. It was quite. It was quite annoying as well because the water basically came down in the cupboard, and the cupboard had loads of boxes in it, which doesn't sound too bad, except for the fact that a lot of those boxes were for stuff that I've got on my shelf, including My Little Cthulhu, which, as far as I'm aware, they don't make anymore. So the box that I had for it would have been like quite good to have. Unfortunately, the box was completely drenched and is now gone in the bin. So, oh well, at least I have the figure. Yeah, boxes for other stuff. Thankfully, not the not the box that my computer came in. That's quite surprisingly, and some boxes that had some other computer stuff in. Thankfully, they're all right. But yeah, stressy weekend. And I was originally my original plan for a stream, which I did set up yesterday, was on Thunderbolts, which has come out on Disney Plus, and I did watch. Have had some thoughts on it to do with EFAP, but I decided no, it's too much. I need to actually do some research for that, and I ain't got the time for that. I ain't got the energy. So that's going to happen this week, and I'll do the stream on Thunderbolts next week. But then, lads and lasses, or lad, according to my what's it on this stream, I decided to watch Alien Earth because again, I had Disney Plus. I've got it for September, so you know what? I'll give Alien Earth a watch. 4 episodes. That's a short series. Turns out it's not the whole series. I'm guessing they're still releasing the episodes, but I decided to give the 4 episodes a watch, and I must say, I am quite disappointed. As you can see by my what the hell would you call this? Moniker? Subtitle? Yeah. Alien Earth is bested by Alien vs Predator 2, as far as I'm concerned. Now, Alien vs Predator 2 has a bad rap anyway. Undeserved, in my opinion. I think Alien vs Predator 2 is good. Now, watch the one viewer disappear by Sea Monster. No. Alien vs Predator 2 is a lot better than people say it is. I'd be very interested to see what people would say about it if we had a nice little stream about it. But for the time being, all I say is, if you watch Alien Earth, if you're thinking about watching Alien Earth with the hope of seeing what would happen if aliens came to Earth, Those are fighting words. Yes, they are. Set the stream, damn it. On a Saturday as well, if you don't mind. Um, yeah. If you were hoping to watch Alien Earth and were expecting to see the effects of the xenomorphs from the Alien films coming to Earth and wreaking havoc and chaos, I mean, just imagine that. That would be quite interesting to see, wouldn't it? Just in terms, they're no longer confined to a spaceship. They've got or an alien planet. Uh, they've got they've got the entire Earth to roam around on. You think, great, that would be amazing to see. That would be really interesting to see how that would happen. It doesn't at all. I'm trying to remember the order of the episodes now, the order of events. I'm pretty sure. I think the second episode, I think it is the one where you have the most alien in it. I think that's the one where the spaceship crack. Should probably preface this with spoilers for Alien Earth in case you're ever thinking about watching it. So, Alien Earth is essentially, I was going to say Blade Runner. Is it Blade Runner or Total Recall? I keep getting those names mixed up. The one with the androids. That's Blade Runner, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's Blade Runner. Alien Earth is Blade Runner with the occasional alien in it. it's it's a bit weird, it must be said. Yeah, Blade Runner, I thought so. It's a very weird thing to go to an alien show, I think that has Alien as the title, and then the show starts off talking about uh androids or cyborgs or synthetics, and you're sitting there going, okay, is this going to be like some kind of like side plot? Kind of like how you have human characters in Godzilla films. Is that what the synthetic this whole thing's going? No, that's the main plot. The alien is the side bitch. Quite literally, in one case, at one point, he just keep in mind how like terrifying aliens are in general in every piece of media that ever used. At one point, he just gets zapped and then like sprayed with goo and then dragged along the floor. You're like, what? That's not the terrifying creature I expected to see. What? He's just been bagged up, quite literally. Uh, yeah, I was very disappointed with Alien Earth. The majority of the plot is about people being put into robots. Essentially, uh, oh, I'm trying to think of the game now. What's the game? Soma. It's sort of not even that, because Soma was good. Soma explored a lot of things. Alien Earth has the suggestion of exploring things. So get to make it a bit clearer. The start of the show, there's a bunch of kids who all have various conditions. Uh, one of them looks like they've got cancer, and this rich git who's on an equal standing with Wayland Yutani in terms of corporate power, um, transfers the consciousness of the child into an adult body. Well, they say she's an adult body, an adult. She doesn't look like an adult. um, but they transfer the consciousness. And again, it's one of those things of you thinking, oh, transferring the consciousness, you mean copying it? It's like, but no, they present it as they're literally like the mind has come out of the child and gone into the android synthetic, which is very interesting. I'd like to know how they did that. Um, isn't really explained. You're just shown that the body is now dead and that the synth is now alive. So you just got to imagine that the consciousness has been transferred. And you'd think they would make quite a lot out of this, because even in the show they make the whole thing of um, you're like new. I think the the child genius, I think he's referred to, the prodigy, at one point says to the first girl who gets turned into a human synth, you're like Neil Armstrong. He's the first man to step onto the moon, and you're the first person to be turned into this human synth hybrid type thing. It makes a big deal out of that. So you're like, oh, this could be quite interesting. What they're going to do with it? Not a lot. uh, like I said, we're into 4 episodes now, and I honestly can tell you a lot about what they've done with the synths. It's very, it's very odd in terms of like the things they explore. There's like, as of episode 4, one of them thinks they're pregnant, which obviously they can't be, and she's having a bit of a mental, which is a clear sign of a mental breakdown. And you see some other signs to do with it, like she's snapping at people and like having angry outbursts. Uh, you're having the fact that these are essentially children in adult bodies, which they explain they did that because children will grow up mentally, but the bodies won't change. So they put them in adult bodies straight away, rather than like transfer. That would have been a thing, wouldn't it? Oh, they could have been a thing they explored, but never mind. Um, so yeah, you do have these adult actors acting like children, which is quite an interesting thing to see. And it's an interesting concept to explore, like the idea of the mentality of the children growing into their bodies, which then brings up the idea of what happens when they just keep developing mentally. I'm waiting until the rest of the season comes out so I can watch it all in one-ish. Depends on scheduling, but we'll see. Uh, that might be the better way to do it, because right now, as much as it's an interesting watch, in terms of if you're expecting alien stuff, let me put it this way. When you're watching Godzilla 2014, everything is to do with Godzilla. Everything that happens, everything that's taking place is all to do with the Titans or specifically Godzilla. Everything. Same with Godzilla 20. No. Godzilla King of the Monsters. No exclamation mark. Same with that film. Everything that's going on, the human drama, the kid dying, everything, all of that, everything that happens in that film is to do with Godzilla, Ghidorah, and the Titans. Alien Earth has an alien in it and has aliens in it, but it's about like the synthetic humans for the most part. And that's where this is where the Alien versus Predator 2 comparison comes in, because the film starts like it's almost like human drama all over the place. Like, oh, this guy's come back from the prison, I think it was. Based on what you're describing here, Alien Earth is looking to be for the Alien franchise what Monarch Lon was for the Monsterverse. Yes, it's almost like, yeah, kind of like how the Titans and Godzilla in Monarch Lon were more of a vehicle for a bunch of other stuff. It's sort of like how Alien Earth is using the alien as a and the aliens as a, well, not even a vehicle, because everything else to do with the Simpsons, aliens are just sort of there, getting in the way in a lot of cases. it's That's what I'm hoping. I'm really, really hoping it picks up in the next like couple of episodes. If this is a 6 episode thing, then they've got 2 episodes to to save themselves. Um, but yeah, Alien vs Predator 2, it looks like there's going to be a lot of human drama, but bit by bit, and definitely by halfway through the film, basically any human drama that's taken place has been completely washed away by the aliens and the Predator. Technically also an alien, but you get what I mean. With Alien Earth, it's like synth stuff and corporate stuff. Oh no, spaceship and an alien. Anyway, And that's the other thing, is that again, you're expecting like some kind of aliens roaming the earth causing chaos type thing. What could they do if aliens were unleashed on Earth? The actual alien stuff, like it takes place inside of a spaceship. It might as well have not crashed. I think there's one scene where they do something outside the spaceship. Otherwise, it might as well have just been a spaceship in space for all the effect it was having. It's like, why would you do this? Why would you have this concept and just turn it into Blade Runner? And by the way, there's an alien. um, yeah, I might actually do a bit more of a video on it because it's such a the ideas. You know what? It reminded me of. I think it was Omniviewer talking about War of the Worlds before War of the Worlds came out. He said it looks like an interesting concept for a film, but they stamped the War of the Worlds name on it for recognition almost, and possibly tweaked a bunch of stuff to make it more like War of the Worlds. That's what this is kind of feeling like in terms of it felt like they had a story about synthetics and the developing human mind and all that sort of thing. And then they went, "Oh, this is really good. Can you fit an alien in it?" And that's what I mean. There's a couple of bits where it looks like they are just in episode 4, hopefully not of 6, because that would be very annoying. In episode 4, something interesting has happened, and I'm hoping they develop it from there. But they really need to pick it up. Um, in this regard, I think Alien Romulus is so far slightly better because at least there again, once again, the film's about it's called Alien Romulus, so you expect it to be about aliens, and the aliens are quite a major thing in that film. Yeah, you've got the human plot of we need to go on the spaceship so we can steal a thing and go somewhere else, but the aliens are a huge part, or end up being a huge part of that. And like Alien Earth is like synth plot. Alien pops in for a bit, synth plot. So it's like it's a speed bump on the road to another story, which again could have been a good story. The acting's good, the actors are good, everything else, like the actual story, is actually good. But that's not what we're here for. Aliens are a major element, and Romulus is the setting for the majority of the plot, at least. Yeah. Again, just like Alien versus Predator 2, it's like you have the original plot of the film, which includes some guy trying to hook up with a girl. The guy comes back from prison and he's trying to fit in with the neighborhood. I'm sure there's some other stuff I'm forgetting, but again, all of that just sort of gets like pushed aside and stamped down by the fucking alien, the badass alien as well, who turns into Clint Eastwood towards the end. Well, that's a good film. Really need to talk about that at some point. Maybe even actually make a video. I've got so many ideas for videos. I've got no time. I've got no time to make any of them. Anyway, um, another reason I wanted to bring up Romulus, besides just sort of explaining just how bad Alien Earth is. Hello, Antonio. Sorry, this is a bit of a unplanned stream this weekend. But yeah, Alien Earth, disappointing. Could have been better. But then, as I was having my dinner. I just flicked on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh, recommended video. What's this? The alert system thing. What's on this? MauLer's video on Star Wars Outlaws. Well, not his actual video, the trailer or the beginning part of whatever the hell it is. for his video on Star Wars Outlaws, one that he's been teasing in various streams up to this point. And he's like, oh, this is going to be a 12-hour video, more than 12 hours, and all this sort of thing. And everyone's been trying to guess what it is, and it's been like dropping hints here and there. Like I said, I didn't watch the anniversary stream. I started watching it, got annoyed with it, stopped watching. Apparently, he announced what he was going to be doing in that stream, but again, didn't see it. So when I saw this little trailer video come up, a 4-minute trailer video come up, I was like, what? Really? Of all the things you could be talking about? It's like when people were guessing about what he was doing, they came up with The Last of Us. So a 12-hour video on The Last of Us game, that could be interesting. Or the games, plural. You can do a comparison between the two. Sorry to sidetrack, but apparently Alien Earth will be 8 episodes. Ah, okay, so this is the halfway point. They've got more time to save themselves. And Antonio, yeah, I'm doing water damage is all I'm gonna say. Feel free to watch the beginning of the video, but yeah, water damage was the thing this weekend. Hence why the stream was originally cancelled. What was I talking about? Oh yes, Star Wars Outlaws and MauLer spending more than 12 hours talking about it for some reason. I can't imagine why. Like I said, if he'd said he'd spending 12 hours talking about The Last of Us, the games, the comparison between the first game, the second game, and then the transition into the TV show, and then how the first series and the second season, were received. Oh, that could be quite interesting. In terms of just like comparing game to series, and then the reactions and the expectations, but that I can imagine filling up 12 hours if you went into a lot of detail, and I mean a lot of detail. 12 hours on Star Wars Outlaws? Really? That from the trailer that he showed, it looks like he's going to be complaining about the fact that they've put it into the timeline where they've put it, why they put it in that timeline, and then people's reactions to it. But again, Star Wars Outlaws. So who the hell cares about Star Wars Outlaws? Who? Oh God, it's like that's a it's a game of something that should have just passed us by and like been and gone. People laughed at Lord of the Rings Gollum. Lord of the Rings Gollum was a game that popped up. People went, "Oh, let's look at this. What the hell is this?" Laughed at it and then moved on. Star Wars Outlaws is a similar thing. Oh, what's this? What the hell is this? They laughed at it and moved on. So how? I mean, how and why MauLer decided to make a 12-hour video on it, I have no idea. And it's going to be one of those things I'm going to see it pop up and go, oh, there it is. Anyway, it's going to be like the aliens in Alien Earth. It's going to pop up, might cause a bit of a stir, and then we're going to carry on like it didn't happen. I'm curious enough to check out the video. At the very least, obviously I won't go through it in one sitting if it's going to be 12 hours long, but still, yeah, that's the 12-hour thing really puts me off, because again, on a subject that nobody is going to really care about that much. If he'd done one on like Star Wars as a whole, if he had decided, sod it, I'm going to make my Star Wars The Force Awakens 6-part video into one video. If he'd said that, I'd be more on board. If he'd said he was going to make a 12-hour video on God, what the hell was that? God of War. Like God of War as a series, the development of the character and how he was matured into the games. That 12 hours, sure, that could be interesting. Star Wars Outlaws, again, I keep returning to it. It just boggles the mind. And this is the thing. Is like, if he said it was going to be a 40-minute video or an hour video, hell, 2 hours, I might have watched it just to see exactly how he managed to talk about that game for 2 hours. 12? Not a chance. I imagine that's going to be one of these worst performing videos, which will still be better than a lot of other people's videos, purely because it's MauLer. But still, why? I'm starting to come to the belief that he's never going to finish his critique on the Force Awakens. No. No, I don't think he's going to. He's probably got scripts. It's like when I see a subject, and I think about talking about the subject. Well, the thing is, no, because I'll think about talking about something, and I'll go, cool, I want to talk about that, and I'll make notes on it, and maybe even start writing the script. And then stuff happens. Life happens. I have a full-time job. And I like my job, so there are times when I go, oh, I'm going to work a few extra hours overtime just to make sure things go right. And then I've got family, and I've got friends, and blah, 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 blah. And again, sometimes the ceiling leaks and ruins all your stuff. Stuff like that happens, so the amount of time I have to spend on videos is very, very short nowadays, which is why Godzilla X Kong hasn't come out yet. Or my video on Godzilla X Kong hasn't come out yet. MauLer, apparently, this is his job. This is his full-time job. So he can pick and choose what he works on and for how long. So the fact that his Force Awakens series was a thing that he was supposed to be doing, that he told everybody he was doing, and he started it at a time when he wasn't a full-time YouTuber, when he was doing other stuff. Now he is doing full-time YouTubing. He has the time to work on those Force Awakens videos, and he hasn't. And just to return to the point, he spent it working on Star Wars Outlaws. I just can't. I can't. It boggles the mind. Unless somehow word of mouth gets out that it's the greatest video that has ever been videoed. That is somehow the best critique, the most entertaining, the most etc. etc. If somehow that happens, then maybe I might watch it. But no, right as of right now, no. My prediction is that it's not going to go well. Then again, the third subject of this stream, as you can see in the thumbnail, that came out of nowhere, and you couldn't really imagine anybody talking about it. However, when it popped up on my recommendeds on YouTube, I had to watch the video where someone explained how Mr. Bean would defeat Superman. I was like, that's interesting. And then the guy started talking about explaining all these different things that Mr. Bean can do or has been shown to do. And it's quite interesting, again, when someone can evidence a point. Yeah. Actually, let's see if I can find it. because that is such a. I don't think I'll show it on here because I think it's like 40 minutes long. But generally speaking, it just popped up, and I was, I'll give that a watch. And it's very interesting because it goes through like analyzing what Mr. Bean can do, like he's an actual superhero or something, or supervillain in this case. Mr. Bean versus Superman. Yeah, Alex Lennon, Lennen. Oh, hang on, someone else has done one as well. Oh no, they just made a short video. so, so underneath a 43-minute video of Mr. Bean could kill Superman, we've then got Mr. Bean versus Superman, which is a short video. Mr. Bean versus Palpatine. Mr. Bean in the Avengers. Mr. Bean collects the minds. Oh my god, there's a whole thing about Mr. Bean versus people that I wasn't aware of. Mr. Bean versus Thanos. Oh my god. I was not aware that the Mr. Bean verse. I was not aware. How could I have doubted thee, oh Lord? uh, Hi, I'm about to watch the Jaws re-release. Jaws has been re-released. The Bean verse is strong. The Bean verse. Oh my god. Is that a thing? Mr. Bean versus Alien versus Predator. Oh my god. No, don't. That's too good. You can't suggest something that good. Oh my god, how would that work out? Could you imagine if Mr. Bean? Well, no. No. Yeah, for the 50th anniversary for a couple of days. Oh, that's annoying. I wasn't aware of that. I wonder if that's open here. Freddy versus Bean. Oh, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this is something that I didn't agree with in the Mr. Bean could kill Superman video. The analysis that I can't remember the guy's name now. Let me just go back to the other tab and have a look. Alex Lennon. Alex Lennon at 4.1 million views 2 years ago. In this video, he goes through all the different things that Mr. Bean can and can't do based on stuff that happens in the TV show, which includes not super empathy, that's what Wonder Woman has. Super understanding. Like he can do stuff and completely change his abilities and character based on people in the room. Which shouldn't be able to, he can do really easily, even though a lot of the times he's very awkward. He does things very awkwardly, almost like he doesn't quite understand exactly what's going on around him. And in the video, the guy goes through all these different things and goes, right, here we go, right. Oh, wait, hold on, I missed the thing. And I was like, yes, here we go. He goes, Mr. Bean's an alien. I'm like, what? And he showed, I don't know if anyone has seen the Mr. Bean TV show. At the start of every episode, and I think at the end as well, Mr. Bean gets dropped from the sky in a beam of light, and choir song plays. Like, hey, oh, yeah. It's like, oh, is suggesting that Mr. Bean has fallen from heaven, or maybe he's been kicked out of heaven. This guy then says, oh, in a cartoon, that turned out to be almost like a teleportation beam from a flying saucer, and Mr. Bean's actually an alien. I could not have been more disappointed with that. It's like, no, that completely ruins it. You could go with the cartoon canon of Mr. Bean, I suppose. Oh my god, there's two canons of Mr. Bean. You could go with the cartoon canon of Mr. Bean and say that he is an alien, that the beam of light is actually an alien spaceship dropping him off. I prefer the original canon, which is Mr. Bean is a fallen angel, which really cocks up anyone's idea of what Mr. Bean is capable of. It fits in 2330 plus 2330. What's half 11? Anyway, don't distract me like that. God damn it. Yeah. Once you have in your head that Mr. Bean isn't just some bloke who causes chaos by being weird, he is in fact. Who says angels ain't aliens? Uh, hmm. Well, ancient aliens might suggest that they are. But there's a bit of a difference between aliens and like spiritual angels. Because if like angels are just aliens that have been interpreted as like godly beings, then aliens are no more different than Superman is. At which point it starts going into what exactly can these aliens do. But if Mr. Bean is like a biblical fallen angel, maybe not like the old fallen angels who went around having sex with women and creating Nephilim. If he was a more recent one, 11:30 was for someone else. Got confused. Oh, is that your booty call? You meant to send that to Sea Monster and say, "Hey, come round at this time. We can have some fun. Bring the KY jelly." Yeah, you're in different countries. How would that work? Anyway, but yeah, Mr. Bean being a fallen angel just like messes with your understanding of exactly what his power level is. If he's a biblical or spiritual one. Because again, if you put Superman up against an alien, which he has gone up against many aliens over the years, then yeah, he's got a good fighting chance, especially being on Earth with the yellow sun. Be not afraid, Mr. Be not afraid. My name is Bean. But if Mr. Bean is an actual angel, as in spiritual angel, as in biblical, as in magical, he's got a very good chance against Superman. A very, very good chance. Because also, technically, can he die? I don't think he could die. Which again also fits in with some of the information brought up in the video, because at some points he survives stuff he should not survive. Yeah. So yeah, personally, I think Mr. Bean sweeps. There's all sorts of characters, especially just scrolling down through YouTube and seeing some of the people that people have photoshopped him fighting. Yeah, Mr. Bean sweeps in a lot of cases. That EFAP stream where they had various like levels of like um fictional characters fighting each other, Mr. Bean would actually end up quite high. Surprisingly so. He would be like the Santa Claus in that stream where he was put into the grade 2 beings and then ended up going into grade 3 because he was just that powerful. Mr. Bean would be very similar, just in terms of what exactly he can and can't do. Giant condom would beat his ass. Giant condom. Are you still stuck on that booty call? Condor. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's definitely a booty call. Yes, Giant Condor, the the stealth baddie of the Godzilla franchise. Oh god, they need to bring him back in for the MonsterVerse somehow, just for the memes. Somehow he defeats the bad one of the bad guys. I actually, whilst I'm here, whilst I've been reminded of that, I have ideas for my own stories that I want to make into videos. I'm just trying to work out how. I haven't done any drawing in years, and I want to get back into drawing. And I could theoretically draw a bunch of panels, but under no circumstances do I feel confident in doing that now. It'd probably take me ages. But I have stories for Mikhail of the Hollow Earth. I've mentioned that title before, and I really, really, really want to make it into something because I've had ideas for it, and I thought, oh, I like these ideas. But these ideas explore aspects of like the Iwi 20 times better than any of the MonsterVerse films currently have, thanks to flipping, I can't even remember his name now. Adam Wingard, that's him. Same here, I want to do the same, yeah. It's really annoying when you have ideas in your head. This is books are great. They're like you can write, most people can write, even if they think they can't. They can string words together. And that is probably the best that most people will ever get into transferring their ideas that they have into something. So many kids have watched films and gone, "Oh, I've got my own ideas that I can make to do with this thing I just watched." Godzilla X Kong is a perfect example of a film that is almost pregnant with potential, but the film itself was stillborn. And you watch it and you go, "Oh, there's so many things that can be done with everything that they put into this film." And one of those things is something that I've come up with and would love to do. I'm now trying to work out how to do it. There's actually a second one as well, and that's more to do with Rodan, because that poor old Rodan has been left by the wayside, forgotten almost, and it's kind of a shame. And I had an idea for to use him, but again, I need to work out how I would do it. That's kind of, as much as I want to make all sorts of videos about all sorts of subjects, I think those are the things that I'm actually going to do. I'm going to work out how to transfer my ideas, my stories into actual videos. Rodan deserves better. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Um, in my head, I was thinking of using Freebird for the video, but I thought, how do I get around the copyright for that? Um, what on earth was I talking about? Right, yes, let's wind this backwards. So I have ideas for MonsterVerse stories that I would love to put down because there's so many ideas that you can get from them. There's so many more than you might think, which then leads backwards into Mr. Bean because Mr. Bean versus Superman seems like a ridiculous idea until you consider that he is either a space alien based on the cartoon canon, in which case he could have all sorts of abilities we don't know about, or he might be an angel and he might be so overpowered it's ridiculous. This leads backwards into talking about Alien vs Predator 2, where they had arguably the best Predator put to film, except possibly the first one, but even then I might argue he's better than him. And then Alien vs Predator 2. Oh, I've actually skipped. Well, anyway, is a better representation of how aliens could like invade the Earth and start affecting the Earth. The fact that Alien vs Predator takes place in a small town, which is kind of isolated, but has the potential to burst for, and they do it well. The aliens take over the town. It's like that. Alien vs Predator 2 is how you do an alien invasion film. Aliens, alien invasion. But you know what I mean? um, and it's a hell of a lot better than Alien Earth currently is. But if it's true that this is going to be an 8-episode series, they're currently at the halfway point. Something interesting has just happened, and they now have the potential to do something with it. And having just completely messed my order up of events, let me just rewind to MauLer is making despite all these much more interesting things going on. All these very interesting things. You've got MauLer making a video about Star Wars Outlaws, which is just insane. Why would you do that? I'm kind of getting a bit what's it? I was going to say red pilled. I don't think that's the right word, is it? I don't know. I've lost track of what the pills are. I think blue is the one where you're supposed to. You don't agree. You're just like, yeah, sure, whatever. I go along with everything. Red pilled is when you start having your own ideas. What one's black pilled? I'm gonna have to start looking up what the pills are. Whichever one that makes you feel like disillusioned in whatever you were once interested in or you once followed. I'm starting to get that with EFAP because they've been some of their streams recently. They say something, and I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. And again, I did get to the point where I realised I was watching stuff. I was watching their streams about pieces of media that I had not seen or watched and had no idea about. So I was just relying on them being correct. And once upon a time, that would have been right. Black Pill is Doomer vibes. Maybe that's what I've got at the minute for EFAP. But yeah, when I was watching When You Lose Hope, lost that years ago. What even is hope? Lost that down the back of the sofa, never got it back. When I was watching their Fantastic Four stream, again, not watched Fantastic Four, never really had plans to watch it. I thought I'd watch their stream because it might be interesting. And they got to a point where they were confused about energy trails, and I was like, no, they're clearly, I don't know what the hell they're doing. And then I was listening to their Thunderbolt stream, listened to the whole thing. Again, I hadn't watched the film at that point. I was like, yeah, I'm just assuming that what they're saying here is correct because they once upon a time they were usually. Then I watched the film myself, and it wasn't anywhere near as bad as they made it out to be. And there was one particular part. There was one particular part that stood out to me. If you've watched the film, or if you anyway, in the EFAP stream, I'm going to be watching the stream this week to then pick out points to then bring up in my next week's stream, assuming the house doesn't burn down. I drown and then burn. That would be the thing that happens next week. I'm going through the stream to get these points down and make sure I'm actually telling the truth about the things that I think they said. But one of the things that I think I remember them talking about is they said, oh, the bad guy gets frustrated that the main characters haven't killed each other, so they activate the lockdown on the room they're in and then go to burn it. And EFAP's criticism of that was, why wasn't that the plan? Why didn't they do that in the first place? I remember that because when I was watching the film, the main characters go into the room and they have a fight that lasts 1 or 2 minutes. When I think it's Bob. Anyway, one of the characters goes to leave the room and the doors slam down. And I was like, oh, that's the trap. It's like they enter the room. They've been told to go into that room and then find the person they're supposed to be there to find and whatever. And either it's one of them comes out alive, or they sort of kind of like what happens in the film. They realize what's going on. And when they try to leave, then the trap, it detects that someone's trying to leave and the doors lock. After that happens, the bad guy is told, oh yeah, they're in there, the trap's set, and they go, cool, finish them off. And that was completely different to how EFAP presented it as, oh, the bad guy suddenly springs this trap. Why wasn't that the plan in the first place? When it was. It's just that EFAP weren't watching the film, apparently. They weren't paying enough attention to it. And this is the thing. There's like 6 people in that stream. There's a bunch of different people in that stream. And this is why I want to rewatch or re-listen to the stream and see if somebody does actually bring up what actually happened. Because otherwise, you're watching EFAP has gone downhill. If they're getting things wrong that badly, quite specific details as well, then I'm going to stop just watching them altogether. Because at which point I'm going to be watching them talking about stuff that I haven't watched myself, so I don't know if they're right or not. And the original like trust that I had in them, that they are attentive enough, focused enough, and detailed enough to be able to tell me when something is good or bad, that is apparently gone. So if I go through their Thunderbolt stream and it's as bad as I think it's going to be, yeah, there's not going to be much point in watching EVAP anymore. Which just then leads straight back into MauLer making a 12-hour video about Star Wars Outlaws. I understand that people can make whatever the hell they want on YouTube. I do that myself. I'm not a clout chaser. If I find something interesting, I will talk about it. Which can be anything. Anything from Alien Earth to Mr. Bean to House of David, which I still want to make my video on that. All sorts of things. You can, if you want to, make whatever video on whatever subject. But it's really odd when you're someone like MauLer, whose whole thing has been like chasing the most recent stuff and making long form detailed criticisms of them. And then in recent and more recently, he has made a video on Fallout Prime, which has not been scripted, has been off the cuff, and has skipped stuff and etc. It's not been very good. Alien Romulus, which should have been very easy to criticize, but somehow he still managed to do that badly. And now he's putting loads and loads of effort into talking about something that nobody cares about. I think it's time that EFAP, the interest in EFAP, has waned significantly. I think I'm going to end up stopping watching them. Personally, I'm sure there's some people out there, but it's still good. It's still good. It's that pig flying through the air. They think it's still on an upward trajectory. I think it's on a downward one. But yeah, no interest in watching MauLer's video on Outlaws. I have serious doubts about their critique skills as of late, which is going to negatively affect my ability to enjoy their stuff anymore. Alien Earth so far has been quite disappointing and has actually been Blade Runner, the TV show, disguised as an alien project. Hoping that it's going to get better in the coming weeks. And Mr. Bean sweeps on everything. Mr. Bean is far more powerful than you could possibly imagine. That Romulus video, yeah. Do you know, I was thinking about that the other day? Because one of the things MauLer gets wrong on that is, he says, "Oh, they come up with the 'get away from her, you bitch' line out of nowhere." It's like, why would he say that? That's terrible. They just shove that in there for no reason when it's actually set up earlier. Because there's that guy who just says "bitch" all the time. He's like, "That's how you do it, bitch," and whatever. His girlfriend gets face hugged. The android goes to basically like kill the girl or do something about the girl. We don't really see because that guy knocks him over and says, "Get away from her, you bitch." And that's the setup for later, because then when the android gets his programming changed back to normal, he can understand that viewpoint and adopts it. What was the other thing that... Yeah, and with that train of thought, MauLer complains about the android using the line from the film. I think it goes something like, "I won't lie about your chances, but you have my sympathies," which is a direct line from the film. And MauLer complains about it. They're just stealing lines now. He's got no reason to... even though that is actually set up earlier in the film, because they ask him about... I don't think they ask him about the chances. Maybe he just suggests chances. Chances are mentioned. Chances are a thing that are associated with that guy. And once again, my earphone has popped out of my head and I can't bloody find it. Oh, there it is. That android talking about chances earlier in the film. I think he says something like 60-40 against her surviving what just happened to her. So for him to then say, "Oh, I won't tell you about your chances," later, it's set up and it makes sense. But the setup is still not good enough. I think it's good enough for those things to be in the film. That doesn't stop them from being like blatantly reused. They're certainly better than a lot of like the Terminator franchise reuses "I'll be back" and "Come with me if you want to live." "Come with me if you want to live" makes more sense in the Terminator franchise, because more often than not, people are trying to run away from something that's trying to kill them. So somebody saying that to them makes it, especially when in Terminator 2 he uses it, because then it's like, "Come with me if you want to live. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge." It basically tells the mum that this Terminator is actually a good one because he's using a phrase that was given to her, which she would know about. And then it gets reused over and over and over again by people. "I'll be back" is a lot more difficult to slot in. And you very clearly see that it's very difficult to slot in by how many times it's used and where it's used. Alien Romulus using "get away from her, you bitch," and "I won't lie to you about your chances," they do slot in. They obviously stand out because we recognize them as being things from the other films. And yeah, in that sense, it is kind of about using them. But they are still set up well and they are still integrated well. They're integrated all right. In terms of, they wanted to get those lines in there and they had to work them in there somehow. At least they tried to work them in, and the trying works, as opposed to stuff like Terminator, blah, blah, blah. It's one of those interesting arguments of, is it good? Is it? It's something to discuss. as opposed to what MauLer does in his video, where it's like, this is bad. It's just bad. Which again goes into a lot of other things that he's done recently, where he is very much to an extreme. Where once upon a time he was very analytical and would come at things from like a more almost mature angle. More recently, he's come at it from a more extreme angle, from right on the other end of things, which again goes into the whole Thunderbolts thing. When I heard about what they were talking about in Thunderbolts, I thought I would hate the film a lot more than I did, but I didn't. So it's going to be a very interesting stream next week. Just going through, again, I'm going to be going through their stream for this week, try and pick out all the bits I want to talk about. Because listening to what I've listened to, I think I've listened to the first hour or so of their stream, and there's so much waffle. There's so much. At one point, they talk about, oh God, what's her name? I can't remember her name now. God damn it. Florence Pugh. They talk about Florence Pugh's character, and they talk about the fact that she's changed from from the, I think it's the Hawkeye series to this film. So, oh, she's changed a lot. Oh, she's such a different character. Oh, and they rant on and on and on. All these different people on the stream, all having their say about how bad it is. And then somebody says, well, there has been a bit of time between then and now, so I suppose there could have been a chance that she's changed. So, yes, it could. I'm glad somebody pointed that out. It's a shame because MauLer is still capable of making good videos like his Doctor Strange 2 vid and his praise of the Father. Think about those are years old at this point, unfortunately. We say he's still capable of, but those videos have been years old. Like my channel is years old. It's probably almost as old as those videos are at this point. And my quality, my videos have changed quite a bit. Not necessarily my attitudes or my the way I think about things or my opinions, but the quality of my videos are definitely my audio. I've got a better microphone. But yeah, just in that time, I've changed quite a bit, and apparently MauLer has changed, not for the better. It's a little bit worrying in that sense. But like I said, who knows? Maybe his next 12-hour video will be the best thing ever. I doubt it, but I'll gladly be proven one. Maybe he should re-examine his methodology and try to get an understanding of why those vids in particular were really well received. It'll be interesting to see if he can do that, because a lot of the people that he's streamed with and whatnot, like Critical Drinker, has got a lot of criticism recently. Oh God, I really wish I'd made my videos on those people years ago. Critical Drinker, Shadowversity, Hill versus Babyface. Who else was it? Anna, that Star Wars girl, I think was the other person. No one really talks about her. I don't even know if she's still going. Anyway, a bunch of people who I really fell out of liking years ago because of stuff that they said and did. And at the time, I just went, I just can't bother with them. And I didn't say anything about them, didn't make a video on them or anything. And now, more recently, people have been coming out against them. And it's like, God damn it. Why didn't I say stuff before? Maybe I'll put that into like a proper stream later. I do want to actually make a stream on Anthony Gramuglia at some point, just to go over the stuff that happened after my last video. So that's down somewhere. But yeah, maybe I'll slot them into there. I'm going off on one now, going all over the place. It's been over an hour. I've got work in the morning. Yeah, this is a good place to stop. The thing is, he first needs to realise he's making slop. Yeah, unfortunately, that does need to be a thing. He need just the pure line from him in his Fallout Prime video where he said, "I haven't scripted this, but I'm just going to rant anyway." Mr. Who, yeah. Which one do you think is better? Anthony Gramuglia, the R star 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 apologist, or Anthony Gramuglia, a lol cow in waiting? Which do you think would be better as a stream title? It won't be for a while. I'll mull over it, but yeah, at some point that stream will happen. Because even now, but those videos are still getting people watching them all this time later. People are still popping on watching them, and people are leaving like comments, like liking comments I made on the video, and especially in response to him, and then making their own comments about how terrible he is. The RSS apologist. RSS. Hmm. RSS. Oh, do you mean R star star? Yeah, I think lol cow in waiting might actually be better. It'll be more YouTube friendly for sure. But yeah, I'll see. It's gonna be a while yet. Oh, 3 stars. I get yes. I'm sure putting the actual word up will be not so great, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for joining me, everybody who joined me. Um, I shall see you next week, hopefully. Hopefully, nothing else happens. Looking at you, God. Yeah. Thanks for joining me. I shall see you next week. Last but not least. Oh, wait, hold on a minute. I really need to change how I do that. Last but not least, thank you for watching.